Welcome everyone, it's time for more Starfield, where last time I joined up with the Crimson Fleet. Not necessarily by choice, but because UC System wanted me to do it, so I did it. And I did a sort of introductory thing, try to gain their trust. I kind of failed at that because I didn't do what they told me to do, which was to kill someone. I tried to solve it peacefully instead, and still they let me join. Not 100% sure why they did that, but I'm happy because that meant that I can continue with the story. So in this video we're gonna keep on doing that. I can see now, hold on here, I have 2 missions. I can first go back to talk to you. Maybe that actually maybe even finishes that. I don't know. This is the no, those are separate. Oh, that's a separate one. Well, that's interesting. Well, all right then. All right, fair enough. So do that first, and then we'll see what we are going to continue with. However, as I mentioned at the end of the last episode, we're going to start this mission, not
have my attention.
Not mission, this episode by indeed chatting to our crew, because I've had those as activities for quite some time, and I'm going to assume that they have some sort of personal stories, etc., etc. So, hello, Andrea.
Never would I have imagined to encounter something like these Starborn. Now I feel that rather than having answers, we only have more questions.
That is true. Quite incredible, but yes, there probably always was something out there.
I think many have felt that way at one time or another, but to see them in person is something else, is it not? Regardless of how impossible they may have seemed before now, I must say that I do not like being threatened by anyone.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, they are trying to scare us. That's very true. We don't have to go for the no one's going to stop us. Lesser more of a warning. Yeah, you know what? In some ways, actually, they weren't necessarily threatening us, were they? They were like, you shouldn't do this because you don't really know what the hell you're doing. So, yeah, more of a warning, I think.
It did not sound that way to me, but I suppose we will see which is true. Clearly, these Starborn are connected to the artifacts, which would mean that they are also connected to that temple you found. Did they make these things? Have they appropriated them? This all implies there is something more, something we do not yet understand.
That is indeed true. More artifacts, that's true. We need to sort of build the thing that we're trying to build, yes. We can keep going, and yes, we are going to run into the Starborn, that's very true. And more complicated, sure, but she does seem very, very worried. But yeah, we need more artifacts.
You are right. And it would seem that if we do, we may well cross paths with these Starborn again. We will need to be on our guard from now on. They seem to know much about us. Perhaps we can learn more about them to make it even. We should return to our search then. There's still so much to do.
Was that actually it? I mean, it did get a mission status thingamajig, so potentially. And now she's just slowly backing away. Hello, Sam.
Lives get stuffy sometimes. Late at night in dive bars. Sometimes the old-timers share stories about things they've seen that they just couldn't explain. Ghost stories, if you will. I've heard of things like the Starborn before. But they're real. Honest to God real.
That is true, but also, yes, the universe is vast, and I don't exactly know in this universe, so to speak, how much have we actually discovered of the galaxy, I suppose. I don't really know, and I hardly believe it, but I was there, so I also now believe it.
I genuinely considered mass hysteria, but the sensor logs confirm it. It's real. So the obvious question is, what the hell are they? Everyone's gonna be thinking aliens, but maybe not. Their ships were incredible, but they still felt like ships. They had engines, weapons, I think I even made out a grav drive. If they were really alien, I would just expect it to be more alien, you know? I mean, it could be some secret Freestar Varun or UC tech. But I don't know.
I mean, that is a good point, yes. Their ships, although a bit unlike what we have, were definitely made up of the normal stuff, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, they were talking English, they had a sort of regular ship even though it just looked a little bit different, so not necessarily alien, even though Starborn definitely sounds like it. But yeah, of those factions you mentioned, which is basically all of them, would any of them have this kind of technology?
I mean, anything's possible. But if anyone had that much of an edge on the others, the whole balance of power would shift, right? It'd be one hell of a conspiracy to keep it quiet. An even greater amount of restraint to keep it in your back pocket.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually go with the fact that they are not necessarily alien, but well, okay, yeah, they're probably not part of those factions is what I wanted to say, but yeah, not necessarily alien either. Maybe some sort of a shoot-off, people just finding a very, very remote location and then from there they've, proliferated or something like that. So yeah, not necessarily alien.
Exactly. I'm gonna throw out another wild stab-in-the-dark theory. Maybe they're from outside our known systems. Here's the hypothetical. Centuries ago, some brainiac scientists decide to play settler. But they go way, way beyond any place we've ever been to set up stakes. Once they get there, they make a few lucky breakthroughs, and their science just snowballs from there. I could see them getting further, faster, and hence become the Starborn.
Yeah, see? Kind of basically what I said. So, you know what, Sam? We might be on the same page here. Yes, that actually sounds very possible, Sam.
If I got it right, then you owe me a steak dinner. One way or the other, we are not alone. And that's both exciting and terrifying.
I mean, so far, yes, we have met them. They know of what we're doing, but they haven't really, done anything. So while we are definitely not alone, it doesn't feel like they're hostile, so to speak, against humanity. They're just hostile against us.
Hello.
Just us lovely people, just Constellation and no one else. So yeah, good. All right then. What about Barrett? Hello.
I have to talk about the Starborn. Do you have a second? You do, right?
Do you? You seem to be a bit preoccupied. Yeah, what do you make of it?
It was awesome.
Well, I like your enthusiasm. So, well, let's have a bit of a chat.
Right? How could we not talk about it for the rest of our lives? It could be the dawn of a new era of humanity. Or it could be an elaborate prank or any number of mundane explanations.
Or, the end of humanity. I mean, come on, that is a possibility. So, yeah, I mean, it could be one of the... Probably not time travelers. But yeah, I mean, it's still not impossible that one of the current factions might be in on it, but still, it doesn't necessarily feel like it. But I'm gonna go for that anyway, see what he says.
That's a smart hypothesis. Makes sense, but we have no observations to really back that up. Yet. Although now that you mention it, I do remember a drunk conversation with a Marine. He swore up and down he was part of an elite crew on some top-secret ship out there. But this is all anecdotal. We just need more data. There has to be a way to draw them out and figure out where they're coming from.
We shall see about that. So, yeah, I don't think that they'll be happy to do an interview, really.
We're going to need a way to find them again, or lure them. This could be a turning point for humanity, you know? Or it could be just the emergence of a powerful new faction, or some sort of elite military tech, or a gazillionaire with nothing else to do. All we know is that they wanted that artifact badly.
I mean, did they really? All I know is that I want you badly. I haven't really decided if I want to romance anyone. It's not like any of these 4 characters that I picked up so far are at all interesting, so... Yeah, possibly Sarah. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't really feel like they wanted the artifact. They just didn't want us to have the artifact. It was more like that, I think. Okay. Well, I mean, does that matter then that they want it?
It's possible we've misinterpreted their actions or that they were under duress. We should remain cautious with them, but I think we should leave the door open to communication.
I mean, that is a smart thing, yes. And we don't really know 100% their motives, but it is clear that they don't want us to keep finding artifacts, which means that we should find even more of them. Yeah. So we do need to know what their motives are.
Agreed. That is going to require more observations, more encounters with them. And who knows? Maybe we'll never see them again.
Oh, from playing the game a little bit between episodes, I know we'll find them many times. Alright,
What can I
Sarah,
help you
what's
with?
up?
I wanted to talk to you, but honestly, I don't know where to begin. The Starborn's technology is simply astonishing. It's just almost too much to process.
So, have you encountered anything like them?
Of course not. No one has. If an encounter with this level of importance had occurred in the past, I assure you that Constellation would be well acquainted with it.
Well, how do you know that you're just like 5 people? So, yeah. Okay, you're a little bit more than 5 people, but you know what I mean. So, cut to the chase and tell me how to deal with them. She doesn't know that. So, yeah, you seem a bit shaken up, actually.
Yes, I suppose I am. But you can hardly blame me, can you? You do understand the significance of this encounter, don't you?
This is humankind's first contact with what I believe is an alien race. A race with technology that could be far superior to our own. Oh, we could learn so much from them.
Or maybe they're just those, you know, shoot-off humans who just happen to have some sort of interesting idea of how to design ships. So, yeah, do you think that they might be friendly, maybe want to teach us stuff?
The way they behaved, I'd say that's not very likely. If we are to learn anything from the Starborn, we're going to have to take the initiative ourselves.
That sounds like a thing, yes. And then I can say that I don't think that they will like to teach us anything. Just after asking if they would be, I don't know. Do you admire them by any chance?
Oh, I do. More than you'll ever know. Can't be a coincidence that these Starborn suddenly appeared after your experience at that temple. We know they're here to lay claim to the artifacts, but what's their true motivation? What aren't they telling us?
Why would it have been the temple? We've visited many temples. So I don't know exactly why any specific temple would be a thing, but sure. It would be nice to come to some sort of understanding with them. That's true. But also, yeah, hidden agenda, that's very true as well. We don't 100% know, for example, why they don't want us to have the artifact. They weren't really forthcoming with that, were they?
It's very disturbing, especially with all of that cutting-edge technology at their disposal. Damn. Oh, if only we knew more about the Starborn. What their species is like, where they're from, how they're able to speak our language. I feel like a cadet on my very first day aboard a spaceship. My mind is absolutely swimming with questions.
Why do you look so sad then? I don't think any of those choices, like alien life form, angels, or time travelers, I don't think that any of those are correct. And how they're able to speak English is presumably because they're human, so, and come from here. So, yeah. Why are you shifting from being sad to being happy? I don't understand. Alright, then fine, we'll go with alien life form, I suppose.
Obviously. But there has to be more to these beings than simply originating from another world. Their name alone, Starborn. There's some type of hidden meaning there. Something that feels very old, perhaps even ancient. Whatever the case may be, I can assure you that Constellation intends to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Or it could just be a cult. So, there you go. So yeah, You started talking about the name here. Why do you think this name Starborn has been used?
I'm not really sure. Scientifically speaking, we're all born from the stars. Most of the chemical components of our body, carbon, oxygen, sulfur, are exactly the same as those manufactured by internal stellar reactions. Now, ask someone like Matteo the same question, and he'd probably give a more theological answer. But hey, it's all a guessing game anyway.
Yeah, so sort of what I was going for. A cult who thinks that, they're a little bit different than everyone else, even though they're actually the same, sort of. Alright then. Do we want to stay out of their way? I don't know. But we should absolutely be cautious here.
To a degree, yes. Every bit of exploration comes with inherent risk. If we continue to avoid life's mysteries, we'll barely make progress as a species.
That's true. Sure. We'll get to the bottom of the mystery eventually.
I certainly hope so. It's funny. When I was a little girl, I'd lay on the ground and stare up at the stars. I was absolutely convinced they held a secret. I'd remain there for hours in silence, eyes closed, listening, waiting for the secret to be whispered in my ear. This encounter with the Starborn is that moment to me. The stars are finally whispering, and I need to hear what they have to say.
I mean, that sounds fun, so maybe I do wanna flirt a bit then with you. Yeah, because I don't really fancy, and I mean, I don't really fancy you either, but out of the 4 that I currently have on the ship, I suppose you are the best candidate, so why don't we do that? I'd love to whisper a few things in your ear right now.
Although I'm flattered that you think of me that way, there's a time and a place for that sort of talk. This is definitely not one of them. Well then, I've certainly wasted enough of your valuable time. Just do be careful if you cross paths with these Starborn in the future. I wouldn't want to lose one of the most valuable members of Constellation.
I have no idea if that was a successful flirting or not.
There's something
maybe.
I need to talk to you about.
Okay. Didn't we just talk to you?
Remember our last conversation, when you told me the artifacts made you feel like you were being pulled across the entire galaxy? Well, it got me thinking, so I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described, doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor.
Alright, so you want to talk a little bit more about this then? So, anything useful in those old journals?
Unfortunately, no. Other than you and Barrett, there were no records of direct encounters with the artifacts. I have to admit, though, I did get more than a bit sidetracked reminiscing about old times.
Also, by the way, why aren't Barrett picking up more artifacts? He has also had an experience, so why is it now down to me? I don't like, not that I don't like it, I don't understand is what I wanted to say. Alright, and you have a predecessor, you say. Who's that?
Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back.
Aja, you say?
Aja Mamasa. She was the youngest member of Constellation when it was founded. Only took her 15 years to reach chair. Sorry, I sometimes get so caught up in my own bubble, I forget that I wasn't the first.
Well, probably not, no. So, if you keep talking about that, I might get jealous, you know. Wink, wink.
Well, there's no reason to be jealous. They were just, I don't know, different times. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege.
Why did they have to do that in inverted commas? I don't know. But alright then. Intriguing, being paired with a chair. How is that familiar? I don't really know. Am I referencing myself here?
Hey, so I pinched a few ideas from my old boss. Can you blame me? At any rate, We logged quite a few discoveries together, but it was the actual journey that I cherished the most.
Oh, you were talking about us, I suppose. Sure. So, anything fun you discovered?
We catalogued unusual stellar phenomena, a few habitable worlds, and some unique life forms, but nothing SSNN would bother to report.
Alright, interesting. So, yeah, sure, I can relate to that in some ways. Why are you here? Looking in on us?
Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone.
I mean, what kind of cozy isolation are you talking about here?
Yeah, you know, being alone in interstellar space, nothing but light years of black around you. Some people find that terrifying. I find it comfortable. It helps me bond with my shipmates.
Well, good thing that we're never in that situation, because we're always in orbit of some sort of celestial body. Good. So, that's good to know. I'm gunning for your position after all. Alright then, so yeah, apparently I'm the protege here.
At this point, I'd say you've graduated from protege and moved up the ladder. A bit. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly.
Well, oh, she might actually be dead then. Potentially?
No, she retired. Living on Porima 2 now, I think. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions.
Oh, I'm not gonna remember that, but sure, we can do that. So, why wouldn't it be a good idea, me? Alright. Do I have a reason to question this?
Oh, don't worry. There's no bad blood between us. The worst that might happen is you get stuck listening to two old friends catching up on old times.
Well, okay, that seems fine then. I will try to do that, and also try to make our journeys just as pleasant as yours was.
Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja. Just be yourself. You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well, that's what intrigues me about you.
Well, there you go. Why don't we discover more about what we have right here then?
I don't know if I deserve to be that close to anyone right now. If you knew about the things that I've done, the way my life's unfolded, I think your opinion of me might change. Please, give me some time. I have to go.
Well, there you go. She's opening up a little bit. So you've done some weird stuff. I mean, do you want me to tell you about all the people I've killed so far? I mean, they're in their hundreds by now, so... You want to talk about that? Alright then, fine. That was a bit different then. Where are the other people? Do you want to chat about something else too?
Anything I can help you with, Captain?
You don't seem to want to.
Okay, then.
Any of you
Man,
want
the
to?
galaxy's too big to be stuck in the same place.
Uh-huh. Any of you want to chat like Sarah? No? Alright then, in that case, we're gonna keep on going with the, not main story, with the Crimson Fleet story. So we're going back to the Vigilance, have a bit of a chat with the commander, and see where we go from here. Alright, we're back. Let's have a bit of a chat with what we've done so far.
We got the message from the Regana about Austin Rick. We had him dropped off at a separate port, off the books. Suffice to say, he's got a lot to answer for.
Oh, I thought that you would actually take him in, but, alright. Yeah. Was there a point in trying to get information about him? Or
That's
from him?
something we're looking into, but it doesn't seem like he knows much. He might be better served as bait. For now, we'll keep him in the brig. Perhaps you could pay him a visit there sometime? I'm sure he'd be pleased to see you.
Ah, okay, fair enough. I might have misinterpreted you. You have him in the brig. That's lovely. So, alright then. Glad to surrender. But I didn't want to kill anyone. Would it be fine to kill him? But I didn't want to traumatize the crew. No, it's fine. Didn't necessarily want to kill him on this occasion.
That's a smart line to follow. Part of this role you're playing means having to make hard choices. Just remember not to lose yourself in the part. Oh, one more thing before we move on. For transparency's sake, you should know we were the ones that hired Ecliptic to attack Neva's ship. There was concern after what happened with the Regana that you might have trouble earning Neva's trust. Coming to her rescue ensured that would not be a problem.
Well, bloody hell, you could have told me. You could have told me.
You weren't Ecliptic's primary target. Besides, I had every confidence you'd be able to handle this situation. It was either that, or Neva possibly denying you entry into the Crimson Fleet for coming back without killing Rick.
Well, I mean, fine. Kind of a miracle in the end that everything just worked.
No miracle. Just calculated and careful planning, courtesy of UC SysDev. You should learn to be more confident in our abilities, and your own. Now it's time for the next phase of the mission.
Our intel on Saoirse was correct. After we received reports on your interaction with Adler Kemp, we picked up on your rendezvous with Neva Mora.
Our files indicate she's second in command, so getting on her good side will ensure you get into the Crimson Fleet.
Alright then, well, if she wants to have me kill people, we'll see about that. Maybe I actually do start killing some people. Kind of depends on the situation, I think. So what do you actually know about this Neva?
The woman has a record that could stretch across Sol and back. She started young as one of Neon's street rats, and worked her way up to second in command. She's a force to be reckoned with, so don't underestimate her.
Well, I'm a neon street rat myself, so there you go. Also, those idiots didn't suspect anything.
That's where you're wrong. You can believe in honor among thieves, but I venture they suspect everyone until proven otherwise. You just need to make sure you allay any suspicions they have, staying within the proper moral boundaries, of course. Do what you have to, but not what you can't do.
The Crimson Fleet has yet to leave us enough hard evidence to build a solid case against them. Be careful not to underestimate their intelligence.
So what's next for you on Neva's agenda?
I have no idea, but maybe she said something. Oh, no, the eye, or the key, not the eye, the key, yes. Yeah, alright then. But also, why am I still here? Why are we? Why am I even here in public, or not in public, in person? Why aren't we like talking on a secure line or something like that?
The Vigilance is equipped with one of the most advanced intelligence suites in the UC fleet. Nothing slips through. You can rest assured, if the Crimson Fleet had any access to our whereabouts or have infiltrated our security, we'd know. As long as you're here, your identity is safe.
Well, you say that. I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure that I trust you. I can also start lying to him. That's intriguing, because if we do that, maybe they are not on my case as much, and that would be kinda nice. Yeah, you know what? The key. We're not gonna name drop the key. Near Europa, actually.
Strange. She must want to vet you some more. Still, it should only be a matter of time before they invite you to the key. That's likely where you'll meet Delgado.
Delgado is the leader of the Crimson Fleet. I have a profile here with some information on his background. You'll want to know the individual cadences of every member of the fleet, but Delgado's most of all.
In any case, now that you're with the fleet, you'll be operating independently. We will shadow you eventually, but we'll need to maintain our distance for now, especially while you're on the key. This will also give us time to bolster our defenses, should we need to engage with the fleet in the future.
Sir, on that note, shall we begin implementing the upgrade to our shields?
Immediately, Lieutenant. Notify the engineers and relay the information to the crew. I hope your entry into the fleet has overcome any doubts you may have had regarding your mission. It certainly increased my estimates on success. Keep up the good work. We'll expect further reports. Dismissed.
Well, alright then. Cool. What the hell happened over there? So let's check those things. We have some new notes in the Crimson Fleet. So Aller Kemp, we've already met you. A hot-headed, competent, seasoned character. Aller is a Crimson Fleet ship captain operating out of Cydonia. His hot-headed nature means Aller is easily provoked, which has gotten him into numerous scrapes. Despite this flaw, Aller is a seasoned ship captain, and in most cases he can use his battle prowess to escape sticky situations. Addendum, as more information on Crimson Fleet captains is gathered, additional profiles will be added to Commander Ikandi's official terminal, or office terminal. Cool, when we get to that. And then Neva, short fuse, temperamental, intense, incendiary. Yeah, kinda got that, true. So Neva Mora was born and raised on Neon, an orphan at a young age. She spent most of her youth getting arrested for crimes ranging from simple assault to grand larceny, and was a frequent visitor to the Cis-Def prison. At 22, she stowed away on a transport to Aquila City, was eventually recruited to the Crimson Fleet. So Addendum has more information, yeah, that's the same as before. And then Delgado. Clever, shrewd, careful, calculating. Originally hailing from Aquila City, Delgado fell into crime at a young age despite being born into wealth. His parents exiled him in hopes of correcting the behavior, yet this only served to increase his criminal behavior, culminating in the theft of a cargo ship which he used to initiate himself into the Crimson Fleet. Delgado is a shrewd, clever leader who isn't prone to rash judgment. He keeps a tight rein on the Crimson Fleet, but is giving his pirates enough latitude to do what they do best. So yeah, parents, if you want to get your son to be a straight up fellow, don't exile him. That's not a good way to do it. Just saying. Just a small information there. Or small tip. But right then, fine. That means that we are going to the key. Now, I think I have seen the key before. I want to say. Have I? No, I absolutely have not. That is way over there. In a system that don't I have like another mission over here? I'm remembering Crix. But right then, we shall make our way there and see what we can do about the Crimson Fleet. Yeah, I absolutely have had something here, I think. Anyway, let's make our way over there, see if we can avoid anything nasty on the way. And this is apparently the key. We arrive actually on the key immediately, which is interesting. So yeah, the lock as well. What the hell is the lock? No idea. So let's just step out. Yeah, we have arrived at the key. Only one planet, a big planet with a bunch of little moons. Anything interesting? Let's see. Ice, sure. What's that? Nox. Cool. No, nothing too interesting here. Yeah, some lithium, and the chlorosolanes, which would be nice, but we still can't do anything about that. Alright then, fine. Let's get back out. And why don't we hail them? Hello?
What are you hailing for? Land in the key or don't.
I mean, if you have the system in place, why are you complaining to me about? Or what are you complaining to me about? Bloody hell. Alright then, fine. We shall indeed dock with the key and see if we can get to talk to Delgado, maybe. Do we get to do that immediately? I don't know.
You said the take was 10K, but it was 30. Big difference on 40% of 10 versus 30.
You wanted 4K, you got 4K. Not my problem.
If you're stealing from me, you bet your ass it's your problem.
You kidding me? Way to make a mess in front of my new rook.
Hey, steal from me and get caught? Better off dead.
Sounds like you did the fleet a favor. Now toss this body out of an airlock before it turns into a damn air freshener.
How are you gonna do it? You just shot him through the world. Bethesda, come on, that was a scripted event and you couldn't even do that right. but you did drop something. Where was the... I could loot it before.
The hell
oh, hello.
took you so long? Forget how to grav jump or something?
Oh, it's fine. I had my own stuff to deal with, but also, yeah, did you miss me?
Please. It'd be one less sloppy rook whose mess I had to clean up. The last thing I need is another Austin rake getting cold feet. You want to leave the fleet? You pay the price. Not in credits, but in blood.
Well, aren't you lovely? So also, you know what? Back off. I did the thing.
Fair enough. Glad to see you showing some backbone. Just be careful that you can back up that attitude before you square off with someone who can kick your ass. But, all that aside, you made it. So now, you get to hear a nifty history lesson. Pencils ready? Good. This floating scrap heap you're standing on is called the Key. Used to be an old UC military star station, and now it's the fleet's base of operations. Might look a little beat up on the outside, but we keep it together.
Well, that sounds lovely, but yeah, a UC star station, how did you just take that over?
Sure did. Right out from under their noses. Way before you or I were born, though. We've held this station for a very long time. Don't worry. Delgado will tell you all about it.
I'm going to assume that the UC doesn't want it back, so... and also, yeah, presumably it hasn't pissed them off, because if it had pissed them off, they would have taken it back. Like, probably quite easy. So, it's a bit of a dump, I gotta say.
Oh, well, I'll get right on that. A few plans, some throw pillows, and maybe this place will meet with your approval. Okay, sunshine? Anyway, I'll tell you all about the Key. But it's better if I show you too. Follow me.
In a moment, there we go, I can loot him. Corrosive combat knife. I suppose I can take it for the money and then some ammo and stuff. Oh, chill out. Wait for me.
That's the very same ice ball where the United Colonies built a supermax prison they call the Lock. The UC is so clever. Supermax prison, lock, key. Cute, huh?
Very cute indeed. And we're gonna follow you through a load zone. We are going to follow you through a load zone.
Now, we've got everything the fleet needs right here. Of course, you've got to pay for it. Remember, on the Key, credits are king. What the hell is this?
All right, hang on, Nev. Before you get pissed, I've got my hands full.
Jasmine, sweetie, I'm trying to give a tour here. So you want to tell me why those damn doors are sealed?
It's called a malfunction. You know, that thing I spend most of my day dealing with. Believe me, my people are on it. Have a little faith for once.
Aw. In you, always, Angel. This here's Jasmine. You need anything for your ship, she's got you covered. We'll hit up the depot next since these doors have given out on us. So anyway, we were talking about the Lock. About 100 years ago, the prisoners down there rioted and took over the place. After stealing some ships, they were actually able to make it up here and took over the Key.
About time you brought us new blood, Neva. I was getting tired of trading with the same old faces.
You're just ticked everyone's getting wise to your ridiculous prices, Aludra. Anyway, welcome to the depot, Rook, where you'll be lucky if these blood-sucking leeches don't bleed you completely dry.
Whoa. It's not our fault that people don't appreciate how much it costs to get untraceable merchandise onto the Key.
Neva's just whining because she thinks she lost a ton of cash selling us a shipment of gear. She should have done her homework.
Yeah, sure, laugh it up. I'll remember that next time I need something from you cheapskates. Let's move on. Back to my story. After the liberated prisoners grabbed the Key, they established it as a base of operations and began pirating the spaceways. That was how the Crimson Fleet began. Of course, Jasper Cricks had a lot to do with all that, but we'll get to him later. Rook, meet Zuri, Queen of the Rare Exports.
If I don't have it, You don't need it.
Neuroamps, blueprints. Hit her up and she'll take care of you.
Speaking of which, you still owe me for that last purchase, Neva. It's like 5 figures. Don't make me collect it the hard way.
The hard way? Oh no. Rook, protect me from Zuri's vengeance. Enough of the bullshit, Zuri. I'll pay you when I pay you. Deal with it. Got a problem with that? Take it up with the boss.
My prices may be high.
You've got Radley from the Trade Authority.
Ain't exactly easy to find.
I'm sure you know the deal there. He'll buy pretty much anything, no matter how hot. Then we got our med bay on the left, run by the one and only Samina Mizra. She'll patch you up, if you've got the money. We don't run any free clinics up in here, you don't? Okay, this is our final stop. Over there, you've got the Last Nova, where Bog serves watered-down drinks at ridiculously exorbitant prices. And right here is the most important place on the entire station, the Reckoner's Core, run by the incomparable Shinya Voss.
Another new Rook, Neva? I can't believe Delgado still lets you recruit given what happened with the last one.
You mean Austin Rake? I'm working on it, all right? I just ran into a few complications, but trust me, he's as good as dead.
So you say. We'll see about that. Perhaps next time you'll try to be a bit more discerning regarding your choices. Pursuing Rake is costing us a small fortune.
Yeah, love you too, darling. Anyway, Shinya handles our lifeblood. The money. We call him our Reckoner, but if you ask me, he's actually a pain in the ass.
And Neva will slit your throat if she thinks you'll bleed creds.
Go to hell, boss. Take care of our new friend here, or I'll find a way to pull the pin on that little party popper in your chest. Anyway, Shinya will get you set up in our system. I've got real work to do. Once you're done, head upstairs and I'll introduce you to the boss.
Time for a proper introduction. I am Shinya Voss, the official reckoner for the Crimson Fleet. And since Neva so thoughtfully mentioned it, yes, this is a bomb embedded in my chest. And no, I'll never know the meaning of the word humble. In fact, I find Delgado's idea of a security measure to be quite empowering.
Alright, intriguing. And also, again, Bethesda. This whole tour done without any of these little cuts into a one-on-one. So you can do it, but you don't do it a lot, which is so weird. But also, yeah, with my security I can say, well actually, what about this bomb thing? How are you empowered by a bomb?
I see the bomb as a symbol of my importance. And it's a constant reminder to everyone of the sacrifice I was willing to make. The freedom I've given up, the pain, it's not something that just anyone has the resolve to bear.
I gotta be honest, when I hear his voice, doesn't he sound a little bit like the Zen guy from Cyberpunk 2077? He kinda does, you know. I gotta check if that's actually the same voice actor. But right then, with my security I can say that it's a very clever security measure. I think I haven't seen a more clever one.
Glad you approve. Obviously, betrayal isn't taken lightly around here. Since I oversee the bulk of transactions and maintain all accounts for the fleet, I'm a prime target for information. Should our enemies capture me or I grew any semblance of a moral conscience, you might consider me the greatest threat we have. For Delgado, the bomb grants peace of mind and a certain degree of safety.
Well, isn't that lovely? So yeah, if you do anything out of turn, he can basically blow you up remotely, I assume.
Essentially. But I sleep soundly knowing I'm one of the few that can piss Delgado off and live. Should I die, all of my knowledge, the accounts, the credits, it would be a mess. He wouldn't dare. He holds the trigger, but we all know that my death cripples the fleet. Call the bomb a weapon of last resort.
I mean, I still don't think you should piss him off. You could just do it and then, you know, solve the problems afterwards. So, yeah, I wouldn't make that sacrifice, I don't think. So, yeah, I bet you don't get out much.
It's been over 5 years since I've stepped off the key. Leaving this place puts far too much at risk. Now, let me get you set up. A moment while I convene with the core. Thanks to advanced modifications even Dujin would envy, I can interface directly with our mainframe and the Galbank network. This allows me to move and clean credits faster and more efficiently than any run-of-the-mill cyber runner.
Well, that's pretty nifty.
You're done. All you need now is Delgado's blessing, and you'll be one of us.
Well, that was easy. So, alright. Oh, bloody hell, didn't mean to do that. Any other modifications you think I should know about?
None. Other than my chest and arm modifications, I am but a simple man. Is the interview over now? Can we get back to work?
I mean, sure. Let's make some money, damn it.
The perfect segue into my final subject. Thanks to our relations with contacts across the galaxy, we always have a steady stream of jobs available. I've granted you all the necessary permissions to access these listings at any time, using the computers that surround the core.
Well, isn't that bloody good then? What kind of jobs are these then?
Oh, you know, smuggling, piracy, taking things that aren't yours. Nothing that should keep you up at night. Well, depending on your methods.
I think he's talking about murder. So that's fine. Bunch of more missions to be had here. Wouldn't have expected anything less. So, alright then. We are officially done. He already said that. So potentially you and I will be working together a little bit at least.
If Neva's chosen wisely, we certainly will. Now, I believe that covers all I have to say, so you can run along to Delgado. Take the elevator to the upper level. You should be able to find your way from there, I hope.
Alright, cool.
Alright,
You
listen
set
up.
up.
You can all stop complaining. Atrium to cargo bay doors have been repaired. Oh, and you're welcome, Nev.
Oh, she's here? She says something about when right when the course is over. She's over there. So yeah, those doors are now open. Alright, you know what? Mission board. Let's have a bit of a look. So piracy. We were that a UC mule carrying a load of integrity responsive drones will passing through the system relieve it of its cargo. Now, I wonder how we are going to do that, because we are on the UC's side after all. Alright. Also, integrity response drones 25 kilograms. That's not mass. We're using mass in this game. Alright then, steal from a clinic. Raid targets a cargo of photovoltaic cells stored in a clinic on Deepala in the Narian system. I mean, I've been in Arion, but Deepala? I don't think so. I'll take that one, yes. Hopefully there's no time limit here. Smuggler lure to Aquila. That's fine. I think. No, I can't really smuggle just yet. I don't think. And piracy, you know, I'll pick up the piracy one too. We'll hold off on the smuggling. You know what, actually, I don't think that there's gonna be a time limit here, really, so why don't I just take all of them? I really hope that there aren't time limits on these. So, would those be here? Yes. No, I don't think any of these are actually timed, so that's fine. Cool. We'll see if I do those while passing through systems. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here, and there are obviously a lot of people I would love to have a bit of a chat with. We are gonna end the episode, however, what the hell is going on? We are gonna bloody hell. We are going to end the episode by talking to Delgado, see what he has to say about everything, and see if he actually accepts me as one of his own. And here's the bridge, I suppose. Well, I say a bridge. It's not a ship. It's a command center. Eloquently written on the floor. And also the lovely logo up there. Hello, Delgado.
Ah, there's our other new recruit. So, now that we are all here, it's time to get down to business. The two of you are the only rooks that have made the latest cut. The rest, well, let's just say they won't be joining us ever again. Neva's willing to put her neck on the line and vouch for you. Which means you've got what it takes to join the Crimson Fleet.
Well, that was easy. So, indeed, I just want to cash in here.
You and everyone else on this station. Keep following orders, and you'll get paid. It's as simple as that. All right, let's get started here. When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet, you're in it for the long haul. No one quits. No one retires. The only way out is death. You stay loyal or you pay the consequences. Fleet before friends. Fleet before family. Fleet before yourself.
I mean, sure. And a pirate organization, why the rules?
Of course we have rules. If you think the Crimson Fleet was built on a lawless dream, think again. Our influence, our money, our respect comes from meticulous planning and every last soul in the fleet following my orders to the letter. That is why you need to learn to place the fleet before everything.
So you're a dictator. I got it. So, fleet before breakfast, because I kind of like to sleep late. That is true. But, I mean, that is true. What about breakfast? What about second breakfast? Do fleet come before a second breakfast too?
Hey, if you've got a problem, I can decorate that wall behind you with your brains. Room could use a little color if you ask me.
It's all right, neighbor. I admire this rook's backbone. Takes a lot of guts to crack jokes with the threat of death staring them in the face.
Can we get on with this? I want to get drunk at the last Nova.
I'm impressed. That is the first intelligent thing you have said this entire time, Mathis. Since you two seem so eager to move forward, let's get to your next job. Pack your cold weather gear, rooks. Where we are going, you're going to need it.
Oh, God, don't tell me you're dragging him down to Suvarol for another one of your little initiation runs. 10 Johns to the surface, 12 dead rooks. You'd think by now you would have given up on that goddamn campfire story.
Crix's legacy is no story, neighbor. We've got fresh eyes in the fleet. And if these two want to impress, they're going to help me search those ruins.
I hope you're right, Dale. That new code we grabbed for the lot cost us a ton of credits. And a decent captain.
This initiation, as Neva calls it, is your chance to see where it all began. On Suvorov with Jasper Crix. Crix led the riots that gave birth to the Crimson Fleet. And if his legacy is still out there, we're going to be the ones to find it.
That's intriguing and kind of boring. So how many of these initiations do I actually have to go through?
What? Were you expecting a goddamn graduation ceremony? Think I'm just going to slap a skull on you and send you on your way? Make no mistake, you are being tested all the time. Every job you take will be under constant scrutiny. And neighbor? Oh, she's just waiting for you to screw things up.
Well, we shall see about that. So, alright then, initiations is what you do, yes. But what about this Crix's legacy? What's that all about?
Before Crix left the fleet, he left a message talking about a major score. One that would set up the fleet to be a big player in the settled systems. Somewhere down the line, they started calling it Crix's legacy. And everyone who's tried to find it has wound up empty-handed, missing, or dead. If we're gonna beat those odds, we'll first need a lead. And I would wager we will find one on Suvorov.
Dale's leaving out the best part. That this whole search is based on a handful of words on a very old slate. Crix left a lot of big talk on that recording, and not a lot of facts. Some of us believe in it more than others.
Don't listen to her. When we get our hands on Crix's legacy, the fleet will be operating at a completely different level. We will become more than a match for UC Systef.
Well, we'll see about that, I suppose. So yeah, that will make you a bigger target too.
You forget the UC is still licking its wounds from the colony wars. They don't have the capability to mount a full-scale assault. And if they were foolish enough to attack, we would have the manpower to push those pendejos right back to Jemison. If we have Crix's legacy.
But you don't even know what it is. So, yeah, what about the fact that Neva might be right and it isn't real?
Listen to the words that I am saying. The legacy is real. You will find that out in due time, provided you're willing to put in the work. Nothing worth having ever comes easy.
I mean, that's true. So, alright then, let's just get on with it.
Sounds like someone wants to get down to business. Okay, enough discussion. We have got a lot of work to do. To that end, the next stop is the lock. I've had Jazz feed the coordinates into your ship's computer. Since Mathis doesn't have a ship, he's going to ride with me. I'll see you down there, Rook. Don't keep me waiting.
Oh, so you'll be going along, would you? Or will you? Did I just get a swashbuckler? Right then, interesting. So yeah, anything else you can tell me about the history of Jasper Crix before we go to the lock? Or before he went to the lock, yes.
I could tell you stories that would last for hours. But now is not the time. You have a job to do, and I don't like to be kept waiting. When you... well, if you get back to the key, I am sure you can find some copies of the interview he gave to SSNN around here, somewhere. I think those recordings might give you the history lesson that you are looking for.
Sounds good, but what about this initiation then?
And I suppose it can't possibly wait until we get down there? Fine. What is it?
Well, that's all for now. No. What happened to him on the lock, or in the lock?
Nobody knows exactly what went down. I mean, there's all sorts of rumors. Crix was in prison for almost 5 years. And judging from the look of the facility, every moment must have been miserable. I suppose he just got fed up and decided to take matters into his own hands. Got the prisoners behind him and kept pushing until he reached the key. The cojones on that guy. UC's toughest supermax prison, and he just waltzed the hell out of there like it was nothing. I would love to have been a part of that.
Yes, I too would have loved to be in jail. So what about the lock? Any more information about that place?
The UC built the lock as a supermax prison a little under... well, it must have been at least 100 years ago. Before that, those concha de sus madres marooned prisoners on the planet's surface and left them to their own devices. So you can imagine, these turned into some kind of demented survival of the fittest. Prisoners killing each other for a chance at meager supplies. Luckily, some whistleblowers back in New Atlantis saw this as cruel and unusual punishment and pressured the UC into building the facility. 5 years after the prison was completed, Crix touched off the riots that overran the lock and eventually the key.
So that was a really stupid idea then. I hope those people really feel bad about themselves. So what about Suvorov then?
It's cold. Bitter cold. Just about the last place you would want to find yourself without heat. The few living things that can survive the extreme temperatures are constantly fighting to stay at the top of the food chain. The Crimson Fleet called Suvorov the White Hell. To me, it's paradise. Someone up here pisses me off enough, I send them down to the surface for a little overnight visit. Snaps them right back into line.
I think I will call it White Hell too. And this Mathis guy, who the hell is he?
There is no deal. You and Mathis are two sides of the same coin. A couple of rooks fighting for a spot in the fleet. Only problem is that he is down a ship and you are not, which puts you ahead. Just barely. Who knows? Maybe he'll get lucky and you won't make it off Suvorov in one piece.
Or maybe I just shoot him in the back. Alright then, fine, that's it.
Fine. Then get moving.
And that we will. Everyone else is gone, apparently. Alright then,
So there I am.
They basically wasted no time, I suppose. So, alright then, Suvorov was the planet, yes, and there's the lock. So that is indeed where we're going at the beginning of the next episode. I think we're just gonna keep on going with this for a little while. It is a new storyline after all, so I'm happy to explore it. But as I said, we do want to have a bit of a chat with people up here. Because there are a fair number of named people, there are a few shops who would like to see what they carry, etc, etc. So I think we'll do the Suvorov thing first. And then when we get back to the key, we'll check in on them. I think that's a good plan. For now though, this has been ghostmutgaming with me, Christopher. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.